Well, it's 4 o'clock, so it's time to rock and roll here. Welcome and thank you for attending the Sarasota League of Women Voters member orientation. I am Elena Visvari, co-chair of the membership committee. This presentation is designed for new members and those seeking to increase their understanding of the league and our chapter. We are recording this presentation and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and also available via our website in the future. Please keep yourself muted for the presentation. We will have a question and answer at the end, so please hold your questions until then. So now I'm going to turn it over to our co-president, Vilya Johnson.
Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we are going to, in this orientation, we're going to talk about the mission and structure of the League and offer an overview of the scope of our activities, and also talk about the opportunities for you to be involved. Then we're going to be happy to take your questions, but at the end of the presentation. The League of Women Voters, as you know, is a nonpartisan public policy organization that encourages informed and active participation in government. Membership's open to everyone, and about 10% of our members are men. The League has been advocating for voting rights and access for over 100 years. We are nonpartisan, but we are political. Our work is to educate, advocate, and litigate. We educate the public because informed voters are the foundation of good governance. We advocate on public policy because democracy depends on citizens engaging in issues that affect their daily lives. And we litigate when all else fails. This year, the League celebrates the 106th anniversary of its founding. The League was organized in 1920 by Carrie Chapman Catt, shortly before the Women's Suffrage Amendment was ratified. Its goal was to help newly enfranchised women become politically educated and responsible voting citizens. And in that first election, an estimated 8 million women voted for the first time. Today, there are over 800 League chapters with over 1 million members and supporters. The Florida League was established in 1939, and there are 29 local chapters in Florida. The Sarasota League was formed in 1961 and has a distinguished history of action and advocacy for this county on environmental issues, land use, mass transit, childcare, and education. And if you ever have an opportunity to learn about the history of the League in Sarasota County, I think you'll be really impressed. The League operates at 3 levels: national, state, and local. When you join, you become a member of the National League, state, and of course the local chapter. The National League is responsible for determining strategy and action policies that ensure the League's messages are consistent throughout the country. Similarly, state leagues are responsible for a consistent state message, and the counties all cooperate to be sure that regional issues are addressed in a manner consistent with neighboring leagues. Local leagues may not advocate on national or state positions. Local leagues may advocate or stay neutral on national or state positions, but we may not disagree outwardly with those positions. One of the most important tenets of the League is we speak with one voice. The president of the national, state, or local league is the only person who speaks for the League in an official capacity unless they do designate one other person to be the official spokesperson, possibly on a specific issue. Members may not make statements on behalf of the League or claim to represent the League, unless they're specifically authorized to do so by state or local or LWVUS. The league, whoops, I think I jumped ahead there.
I think you're slightly
Yeah.
off. Are you talking
Yeah, I'm
about
a little bit
the
off,
structure?
aren't I?
Are you talking about the structure
There we
next?
go.
Oh,
There we go.
nonpartisanship?
Was I running ahead the whole time there?
Just a couple times.
Okay, here we go. Oh, no, it did it again. It's jumping too ahead for some reason. Okay. The league does not support or oppose parties or candidates. Our credibility comes from our nonpartisanship to ensure that our voice is heard above party politics. When wearing a league name badge, our speech and behavior must be above reproach when it comes to nonpartisanship. Okay, now we're on track. We operate under 2 tax classifications. Our 501c3 is our education fund, providing voter education and information like candidate forums and the Vote 411 voter guide. Our 501c4 is our advocacy fund, and that funds our work on policy issues. The league's advocacy work is issue-based, and we arrive at our positions after careful study, input from our members, and consensus among our members. The league's positions focus on facts underlying the issue and provide the rationale for the league's position. Oh, it's doing it again. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. We have a few guiding documents at the national level. The guiding document is called Impact on Issues. This is quite a document. It's really a book, and it is available on Amazon. This is the collection of the positions that have been developed over the years, as early as the 50s, and a lot of them were developed in the 70s. And we still stand by those positions. So it's interesting to me when some people say that we're partisan. Our positions have never changed, and at one time they were very much centrist as bipartisan positions. So it's really parties that have shifted, not the league. The league has stayed very consistent. We have a national convention that happens every 2 years, and it just happened in June. And several new positions were adopted at that time, so they'll make their way into Impact on Issues. If you ever have a chance to go to one of those conventions, I highly recommend it. There's usually about 1,000 people in the room, and you really get to see democracy in action. There's a lot of, it's messy. You know, everybody's calling out different things and caucusing in the room, and so it's quite exciting to go. This is the staff and the board of directors for LWV Florida. We have a very dynamic, hardworking team. Jessica Lowe Miner is our president right now. If you ever have the chance to see her, she's an exceptional speaker, really incredibly knowledgeable and very dynamic. So that would be great if you ever do have the chance to see her speak. As with LWVUS, Florida has a state document that outlines state positions that document is called Study and Action. The state.
Billy, you're off again. The state convention is showing. Is that what you wanted?
That's wherever I'm going right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So the state positions are called Study and Action, and the state convention also is held every 2 years. And it's held on the opposite year from when the U.S. convention is held. That's when we conduct business, set priorities, and vote on new positions. On the off year from the state convention, there is a meeting called council. So this June, we had the U.S. convention. So therefore, the state convention will be next year, but this year, just a couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting, the off-year meeting that's called council. It's much more limited. It just happened a couple of weeks ago in Orlando, And it was more informational. We had a lot of workshops on best practices and that type of thing. So again, that's something that's very interesting to go to. It's not quite the level of business being conducted as it is if you go to the convention, either at US or the state level. But all of those are open to members. There's only a certain number that can be voting delegates, but any member is welcome to go to those. There are various committees and campaigns at the state level that we may not have the capacity to do here locally. So for example, at the state level, there is a clean energy team or a gun violence prevention team. We don't have the capacity to offer those here at the local level, but any member is welcome to attend those state level Zoom meetings that happen monthly if those are your interest. You're always welcome to follow those committees and actions teams. For those who really want to be involved in league culture and trained on league policy, there are opportunities to advocate both locally and in Tallahassee at something called Florida Lobby Days. And that's when a large group of members go to Tallahassee to meet with our legislators. So that's something to aspire to if you're really wanting to drill down. This is our team for LWV SRQ. We have Rhonda Peters and myself are the co-presidents, and we have a wonderful executive team and hardworking board of directors. And then, of course, we have our committees and team leaders, action team leaders, and Elena will talk more about that. People typically join the league because of a specific interest, and those interests will help determine how and where you might want to be involved in league activities. There's a few ways to stay informed on our activities. We do have a monthly newsletter that comes out at the beginning of the month, and then occasional e-blasts, maybe mid-month, that say here's what's happening in the 2 weeks, if in the next 2 weeks, if there are immediate activities that are coming up. We really try to keep emails to a minimum to avoid overloading people. We also have a monthly chapter update call, and that's on the fourth Monday of the month at 4 p.m. That's a 1-hour meeting, and each action team leader or committee lead just gives a brief, I try to keep it to 3 minutes, brief summation of what they're working on. But this is a great way to understand the scope of our activities, to really see, oh, this is something that I might be interested in, and then you can follow up with the team leader after that. During season, we typically have a hot topics lunch monthly with a speaker or panels that is making a presentation on a topic of concern. We do have also a casual monthly lunch, just a membership lunch in Venice once a month year round, and that's quite robust. We had 20 people there yesterday. And during season, we also have a same casual member lunch in North County as well. And then we have happy hours a couple of times a year too that everybody is welcome to attend, and that can be a lot of fun. And now I will turn it over to Elena.
Well, thank you, Vilya. I think we all have a little better understanding now just of the structure and the positions and what is the league is all about. So thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit now about how to get involved in the Sarasota chapter. And as you can see, I've split this up into action teams and then committees. So I'm going to go through each one, and we'll talk a little bit about what each of the groups are doing. And so that, again, you'll know a little bit better what's happening and perhaps choose to get involved with them. So the next slide. The first one we start with is education. And that is headed up by Jill Lewis Spector. So her team, they're very active, and they would also welcome any other new members to, or new people to join. They do prepare member alerts on bills that are being tracked in the legislature. They hold a Why Vote contest for Sarasota public school students. This has been really well received, and it creates a lot of enthusiasm with some of the students that participate. and their families. They do write letters to the editor or op-eds concerning education issues, observe and often speak at school board meetings. They write a school board report card that is sent to the members of the school board. And actually, there have been some changes made because of the result of those report cards that have been received. They distribute informational trifolds on topics such as school choice, choosing a school board candidate, and book bans. They arrange for forums on public education, support school board initiatives such as the 1 mil referendum that comes up for vote every 4 years, and their team meets monthly on Zoom. Next, we have the Natural Resources, which is headed up by Ann Hardy. They follow local and state environmental issues, provide programs on these issues to members and community. They advocate on topics that align with the league positions, and their team also meets monthly, usually on Zoom, not 100%, but most of the time. And next we get into some of the other committees. So communications is another big committee that is headed up by Nancy Morrison. They're the ones that maintain our website. They create graphic designs, write press releases, post events on our website calendar, work on the Sarasota Voter, that's the monthly newsletter that Vilja mentioned. And they're always looking for members who want to share editorial, journalistic, artistic, or technical skills. The next team we're going to talk about is membership. That's co-chaired by myself and Deb Starr, and you can see Deb Starr there in that picture. Our charge is to welcome, orient, and engage new members. We want to develop strategies for retaining and growing membership. That's another charge. We maintain our membership database, and we also meet monthly via Zoom. Next one is Events Committee. That's headed up by Mary Pat Ost. This event planning team plans, schedules, and produces monthly and special events, presentations, the annual holiday luncheon, our annual membership meeting. They often collaborate with other committees and teams, and they also meet monthly via Zoom. Next, we have the Organizational Assessment and Impact Team. This is fairly new. It's headed up by Mary Pat Ost. This team develops and analyzes data for each team with a quarterly report to the board. So it's kind of like, well, what are these teams doing? And it's important for the board to know there's information, and some of it includes volunteer hours, which is a real important thing that we haven't always done, but we are charged from the National League to report to them every year how many hours we put in, what events we have, who attends the events, and kind of what the outcome was. So Mary Pat has taken that and run with it, and now she has a team that is helping her to develop this information and database. So now we have a nominating committee, which is, just so that you're aware of this, Tracy Giannopoulos is heading this up. The nominating committee actually consists of 5 members. There's a chair and 2 members who are not members of the board, but they are elected at the annual meeting. And then following the annual meeting, the board appoints 2 more of its members to the committee. So there's a total of 5. And then vacancies on that committee are filled by appointment by the board. The nominating committee is responsible to develop a slate of nominees to serve any open officer and board positions, and elections occur annually at the annual meeting. So here's the other whole set of committees and teams that we have, and this is another way to get involved in our Sarasota chapter. So we have voter services and all of those subcommittees under there, which we're going to go through each one of those. We have rallies and the empowerment program. So voter services is, next slide. Our voter services committee assists with voter registration, educate voters about upcoming elections, and promotes the services that our chapter has to offer to voters. They interact with other community organizations such as the NAACP, senior residences, and AAUW. Voter registration is headed up by Barbara Ryder. They're members of the voter services team. They are encouraged to get certified to register voters. There's actually a process by which you can become certified to register voters, although we assist voters at this point in time. We aren't really registering, but it's a question that you can answer online. And then once you get 100% on that particular test, you get to be certified. And then you can go help with the voter registration team. They do hand out bilingual flyers about voting at the food banks, and they address postcards to returning citizens. And you can see there's a group there that are addressing postcards for returning citizens. So the next one, getting involved, speakers. This is huge. This is headed up by Sherry Ballin. The goal is to educate community groups, and they go to their local meeting place. So we send members out to where people want us to be and have invited us. We have had presentations for professional and political organizations, community groups and churches, senior centers, and youth groups. The presentations are developed either from our state or chapters within the state, or even our own chapter has included has developed presentations. The topics include misinformation, voting, voting rights, election reform and ballot amendments, advocacy, current issues, and public schools. It's a wide range there, and they are busy. So Vilya had mentioned Vote 411. This is a whole committee headed up by Tracy Giannopoulos. What they do is they develop questions on topics deemed to be of importance to Sarasota County voters. And I will say right now, since we have an election coming up next month, our Vote 11 voter guide is very active, and people can go there and get information. And this is the team that gets that information out there. They do contact all the local candidates, and they ask for their responses through the League's national online database, which is vote411.org. Voters can access Vote 411 to see what will be on their ballot, and they can view the candidate responses. In general elections, which is not this year, but in 2 years, the team prepares a printed voter guide, which is distributed throughout the community. Members can get involved if you want to join Vote 411 by helping with question development, candidate outreach, and printed guide distribution. So there will be plenty of work to do between now and actually they're probably starting already to get ready for the November election, because all of this stuff has to be done before the vote by mail ballots go out, and certainly well before early voting. So they almost have to start before you think they need to start. So next slide. Next, we have Observer Corps. This is headed up by Susie Murray. The Observer Corps for the County Commission attends County Commission meetings in person if possible. They will record topics of citizen comments, record major topics considered, and records conducts of the commissioners. Next. We have candidate forums. This is a lot of work for this group here too, headed up by Liz Baker, excuse me.
Barber. It's actually Barber.
Barber. Okay, Barber. Sorry about that. I should know. The Forum Committee plans and presents candidate forums on a nonpartisan basis on both primary and general elections. And you can see this one was held quite recently, and Billy is over there on the left side. The goal is to inform area voters of candidate positions on a variety of topics and importance to our constituents. So they have to develop the appropriate questions, and I'm always impressed with the questions that come up at these candidate forums. We don't offer debates, but we certainly give the candidates an opportunity to share their stance on a lot of different topics of importance and issues. And this candidate forum group is also responsible for the event management itself. Next. Youth adult engagement. This is a fairly new group headed up by Tina Beer. It's been for a few years now, but the goal is to encourage and assist young adults to register to vote at local colleges and job fairs. They create social media messaging geared to younger voters. The future of our democracy, as we well know, depends on our youth. And so the League of Women Voters is committed to engaging youth and the young and future voters. And this picture here is actually not at the college campus, because these kids are obviously not college students, but the League has been involved with the Suncoast Remake Learning Days. And this is a group of very young kids who are participating in a, excuse me, and the word just escaped me now, but I know Billy knows what it is.
This was an event that we've done with children several times now through the Patterson Foundation and Remake Learning Days, and it's called Dessert Dash. And they use ranked choice voting to rank their favorite desserts, and then whatever the favorite is, everybody gets one of those. So
Right.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, the ranked choice voting was what just flew out of my brain. So thank you.
that's okay.
All right. Next one is rallies. And our chapter really, we haven't been involved for years and years, but recently we have taken it up. And this initiative is by Liz Barber again. The rally team plans and presents the group rallies in our local area. Our rallies support the LWV, that's our national Unite and Rise theme, and our commitment to advancing and protecting democracy. The empowerment program, this is a fairly new program too. This is headed up by Rhonda Peters and Vilya. The participants are offered a deeper dive into League policies, operations, and responsibilities. It's a short-term educational group, educational opportunity, actually. And one of the goals and one of the things that's happened is they develop League leaders, and they give them a better understanding of and commitment to the League. So it's been a wonderful thing that our League has championed recently. And I think, so the other thing, staying involved, is, as Billy had mentioned, we do have a monthly newsletter. The Sarasota Voter comes out, as well as the Florida Voter. That's from our state league. There are emails. You will get emails from both our chapter, the U.S., and our national league. And especially during legislative time, there's a lot of action alerts that happen urging you to contact certain people, but they make it real easy. I mean, there's a way you can just click on this and add your name or change some things or call. There's a lot of information that is available to people that way, to members that way. And again, our website is a big place where we have communication that is shared. There's also a lot of social networking that goes on. And as Vilya had mentioned, there are lunches that occur monthly on the third Tuesday in Venice. We're on a little bit of a hiatus during the summer months here in the northern part of the county in Sarasota, but we will implement them again once the fall hits and the snowbirds come back. And then we do have periodic mix and mingle happy hours that we do. And as Vilya had mentioned, again, our chapter updates, I can't tell you or emphasize those enough. They're very valuable. They only last an hour. Each leader only gets 3 minutes to talk about what's going on. So it's a good way to really get a snapshot, see people talking about what they're doing, and then you can reach out and get involved. So I think the next one, this is our website. And if you are a member, and I think most of you are, the best place to start is to log in. And then once you log in, you have access to a whole lot of information that you won't if you're just the general public. There's a lot there even for the general public, but as a member, you get a deeper dive into almost everything that's available. And next slide. So the two areas that, again, are open to non-members, people can see the events calendar, but there are sometimes events that are just for members. And if you don't log in, you won't see them on your events calendar. This is just for what the general public sees, but that's why it's important to always log in when you go to our website. There is also, under getting involved, there's a way to see what the different teams and committees are, and a little bit of a snapshot of what I've just gone over. So when you're a member, you have access to a membership directory, which is all the members that are in our database, resources, the board of directors, their names and contact information, how to sign up to volunteer, and there's a whole lot more. And I can just encourage you to sign up and register for next week's orientation. It's totally devoted to our website. It's the same time frame, 4 to 5 p.m. It is going to be on Zoom, but I encourage you to register so that you get the confirmation emails and that you know what's happening. And this is one that is only for members only. So you're only going to see it on the website if you are logged in. And I think that's the end of, yes. So in summary, during this member orientation, we covered mission and overview of the league, structure of the league, statewide and chapter events and opportunities, and how to get involved. So Bilia.
Okay, I'll stop sharing, and we're happy to take questions or have any discussion. If anybody has any questions for us about how things work. Louise, you're muted.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's very impressive, really quite amazing. Two questions. One is, how many really active members do you have who are taking care of all of these different actions? And the second is, you said the league hasn't changed its positions on things, but I'd like to know how you're dealing with more conservative voters or groups of people who say you always side with the leftists and, you're not really nonpartisan.
Well, speaking about membership, and Elena, you'd probably be able to answer that. I think we have about 370 members right now. Is that accurate? And I would say probably 50 to 70 who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, other people who come in on tasks. But we probably have certainly at least 50 people who are doing a lot of this. Voter services alone, all that tabling when we're helping voters, we have quite a team for that right now, but we can always use more. I would say almost every one of our teams can use additional help. We can use more help with our communications, speakers bureau, voter services. There's Mary Pat is waving for events and administration. And there are a number of opportunities that if we had more help, we would love to undertake. So for example, we have a great program going with colleges where we're regularly tabling on college campuses and having Speakers Bureau presentations on college campuses. But what we'd like to do is to do more at middle school, high school level. The League of the US has a partnership with Girl Scouts of America, and there are a number of chapters around the country who are doing programs. There's a program called Voter Girl. The Girl Scouts has a civics track where they can get a badge about civics. And so there are a number of chapters that are working closely with the Girl Scouts. I'd love for us to pursue that here locally. We don't have anybody to lead it right now, so that's a problem. And then let's see, Mary Pat, where'd you go? Oh, yeah, did you have something you wanted to say about help? No? Okay. But I
Well,
know,
no, other than we can always use more help.
yeah, okay. But Speakers Bureau too, if you're comfortable speaking, we have lots of requests right now for Speakers Bureau, like twice a week. And same thing going, we're already booked out through October right now. As we move into the election cycle, so many people want, particularly our number one presentation this year will be on the ballot amendments. What's on the ballot? And so that presentation is just getting finalized right now. And so we'll be starting, we're already booking meetings for that. Vicki, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I did. If I'd like to get involved with getting out the vote, how do I find out what volunteer opportunities are available?
Okay, that's a good question. I would recommend attending the meeting on Monday afternoon, that Zoom meeting, and we'll be talking about that campaign. There are a number of different aspects of that are happening right now. First of all, the voter services piece of it, but also we have a series of events coming up. We have a series of voter information fairs that start on August 8th. The first one will be August 8th in Venice at the William Jervey Library. And it'll be several hours. There with voter services. There'll be tons of activities for kids, voting for kids. There'll be a series of speakers giving brief presentations on why is it important to vote in the August 18th primary, how to use Vote 411, that type of thing. So we have 4 of those events planned in the next couple of months, and we need a lot of volunteers for that. This is a joint project between events, voter services, and Speakers Bureau, and we need a lot of people just helping to set up and that type of thing. So I would say come to that meeting on Monday, or if you don't get what you need from that, we'll give you the contact information for those people. There are some positions posted on the website. If you look on the website, the menu has something called Get Involved, and there's a drop down and it says volunteer, and you can sign up there to volunteer for some of these spots. But attend that meeting and let's talk it through a little bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Louise, did I answer your question? I can't remember if I answered. Oh, how did we change our positions?
Well,
Yeah.
it's that I would just imagine that a lot of the more conservative groups or conservative voters might think that you are not actually nonpartisan, because on a lot of the issues, the league supports what I
Yes.
consider to be more liberal positions. So I just wondered how you deal with that.
Well, yeah, remember, as I mentioned, we haven't changed. The positions haven't changed. The parties have shifted. And so, yes, it does happen that for the most part, our positions on issues align more with the Democratic Party. But we always say we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about right or left. We talk about issues. And then the other piece of it is that we don't support or oppose candidates, but we believe in holding elected officials accountable. Once somebody is elected, they're responsible to represent all of their constituents. And so we feel like we can speak to elected officials on issues because, again, that's not partisan. That is holding them accountable to their constituents. Does that help? Other questions, comments? Geraldine, do you have your hand? Yes, honey.
Yes. Hi, you can call me Jerry.
Okay, Jerry.
I was curious about the monthly newsletter website. How do I access that?
That is something that would come to you in an email. If you're a member, you should get that at the beginning of the month. It usually
Okay.
comes out like from the 30th to the 2nd, somewhere in there. And
Okay.
so that would be via the email, although I thought I saw Nancy on here for a minute. It also should be posted on our website. Mary Pat, isn't it posted on our website?
Yep, it's under member services, and the second item down is called the Sarasota Voter. And there's links to all of the issues going back to 2023.
Okay.
So you can review all that. So
Does
it's a lot.
anybody remember 2023?
Yeah. I tell you, we have so much going on. The website or the newsletter can feel a little overwhelming because when we start talking about all of our activities, but you just need to kind of sort through it to see. The other huge tool, in my opinion, is the calendar that's on the website. You can go on that calendar, and again, as Elena mentioned, it's important to sign in to see all of the activities, but you can go onto that calendar and really get a feel. And it's also not always just our own activities, that's 95% of it. But if we're participating or partnering with another organization, so for example, we're a member of the Social Justice Alliance out of Venice. That's 30 organizations that are all working, pro-democracy organizations. And so if they're having a day, Save Democracy Day or whatever, we'll post that. And I think we just posted we're cooperating with the Women's Resource Center on an event at the end of August for Women's Equality Day. And there's going to be a luncheon with a panel discussion about powerful women. And so that, I believe, is just posted on our calendar too. So that's a good place to go to get a sense of what's happening.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Anybody, is there a particular reason that you joined and you're saying, this is what I want to work on and how do I get there? We're happy to direct you if we can. I know I see Susan Scott, she jumped right in and she's working on our civics program that there's a team that's working with citizen or incoming wannabe citizens who are working on their naturalization process. And they're working to help them get ready for the exam. So that's one of our great efforts. Any other specific interests? Okay, I'll turn it back over to you, Elena.
Well, if there are no other questions or comments to be made at this point in time, I guess we can end less than an hour. That I don't think anybody complains when meetings get over sooner. So if you have any questions, I think you can easily find either Vilya or myself. My email is Elena, my first name, at lwvsrq.org. So it's pretty easy that way. And Vilya's is the same thing. It's Vilya at lwvsrq.org. So feel free to contact either one of us. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes, well, 3/4 of an hour with us. And hopefully you have learned a little bit more about our chapter and the League in general and ways to get involved.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you.